Hey everyone, Anders here. Today I want to go over the latest news surrounding the MMO Chrono Odyssey. We had a developer note released just last night detailing the main issues players had from feedback, as well as changes they will be making to the game to improve the experience. I'll break these down into categories, so use the chapters to skip around to what you're most interested in. First, let's start with the game's world experience. It suffered from low content density and a lack of regional variety, leading to underused areas and weaker immersion. To address this, developers plan to enrich the environment with themed caves, diverse exploration routes, and scenic viewpoints. Landmarks will be added to improve navigation, and gathering materials like herbs and ores will feature clearer textures. Additionally, guidance elements will help players discover key content, such as Chrono Gates. The open world felt repetitive and lacked polish, with terrain textures falling short of the reveal trailer expectations. So to improve visual identity, developers plan to enhance region-specific features like swamps, misty forests, and wildflower fields. A dynamic grass system and improved wind mechanics will also be introduced to create more immersive and responsive environments. For regional structure, players frequently got lost due to unclear pathing and were often unaware of the in-return feature. To resolve this, developers will add more routes in key areas and improve the visibility and guidance for the in-return system. Navigation was also difficult due to the lack of terrain and altitude indicators, and the compass offered limited directional help. To improve this, the compass will feature altitude arrows, and areas will be visually distinguished with new points of interest that guide players and may contain rewards or events. The world map will clearly mark explored versus unexplored areas and points of interest, and inconsistencies between the map and the terrain will be corrected. Players will also gain access to better quest tracking, custom markers, and a memo feature for important locations or resource spots. Points of interest often felt empty and unrewarding in the beta, diminishing the exploration experience, so to address this, developers will add hidden caves, narrative encounters, and resource gathering opportunities to make points of interest more meaningful and engaging. For navigation, players struggle to identify climbable terrain, often wasting time on areas that couldn't be traversed due to unclear visuals. So to fix this, non-climbable surfaces will be marked with distinct features. Interactions were often frustrating due to strict positioning requirements, limiting gameplay fluidity. So to improve this, developers will enhance interaction responsiveness and implement short press interactions for faster engagement. Navigation data will also be reviewed to ensure smoother, more accurate alignment with interactive objects. According to the devs, the game suffered from sluggish input responsiveness due to long recovery frames, unresponsive animations, input buffering, and latency. Developers plan to improve responsiveness by adjusting animation interruption timing, reducing input buffer windows, optimizing network performance, and enhancing UI clarity with a unified visual feedback. Additionally, a system-level queue will indicate when a non-interruptible action is attempted. Both controller and keyboard and mouse experiences will be tailored with control-specific UI adjustments, customizable mappings, and improved lock-on mechanics to enhance gameplay comfort and precision. Combat lacked impact due to weak stagger reactions, short CC durations, and minimal damage indicators, so updates will increase hit reactions. They will add knockbacks and refine enemy patterns to allow deeper player responses like parrying or dodging. Hit animations, floaters, HP bars, and audio-visual effects will be enhanced to improve clarity and immersion. Client-server timing and hitbox alignment will be optimized to reduce discrepancies between visuals and outcomes. CC durations will also be extended to support more strategic combat. Skill synergy and diversity were limited, leading to reliance on passive skills. The refined skill system will introduce 4 unique combat styles per weapon and enable cross-weapon synergy. Skill descriptions will be simplified with visual aids, and buffs and debuffs will be more visible. The new matrix system allows players to customize class roles and styles, reinforcing class identity and combat variety. Each class and weapon will be reevaluated to ensure balance and distinctiveness. Weapon swapping felt clunky and delayed. Developers will shorten buffer windows, add cooldowns to prevent accidental swaps, and enhance HUD elements to clarify equipped weapons. Combat itself will be deepened with smarter AI that reacts to movement, varied enemy windups, and matrix-based build diversity. Repetitive patterns and unclear enemy telegraphs will be reworked for better pacing and challenge without unfair difficulty spikes. spikes. Camera issues like obstructed views, excessive shaking, and poor tracking during lock-on will be addressed by smoothing movement and dynamically adjusting lock-on angles. AI will respond faster, react more realistically to player actions, and no longer get stuck in terrain. PvE difficulty will be rebalanced through better progression guidance, clearer level paths, and redesigned solo and party content with strategic depth. Core content will now include recommended levels and party sizes. Overwhelming visual effects and cluttered UI also made combat hard to follow. The HUD will now be redesigned for clarity, brightness will be reduced, and a toggle added for combat visuals. Skill effects will be diversified to aid distinction, and PvP duels will get a clearer boundary indicator, warnings for edge proximity, and will also have result pop-ups to improve player awareness and engagement. For exploration, it felt disconnected from the core content of the game and lacked compelling rewards, making it feel more optional and sometimes aimless. So to address this, a new dynamic and chain quest system will be unlocked through exploration alongside hidden rewards, rare achievements, and exclusive titles to give exploration a stronger sense of purpose and value. Rewards often felt inadequate relative to content difficulty, with low drop rates for valuable items, making progression tiring rather than motivating. Over-reliance on life skills for advancement reduced the appeal of exploration, combat, and co-op, especially early on. So to improve on this, the progression system will be refined to support diverse content paths with unique mechanics for each content type to enhance motivation and player engagement. For life skills, gathering felt unresponsive and dull due to minimal visual and audio feedback, making it hard to tell when it was successful. To improve the experience, developers will enhance gathering animations, effects, and sounds, including clearer cues when materials are successfully collected. For questing, local quests were overly repetitive, reducing player engagement over time. To improve this, meaningful region-specific events and quests featuring unique and memorable characters will be added. Some quests will also be reworked to include player choices that affect their progression and outcomes, hopefully creating a more varied and dynamic gameplay experience. Rewards for these local quests were also underwhelming, reducing player motivation. To address this, rewards will be enhanced with lore items, rare materials, and growth-focused equipment. Exclusive achievements, titles, skins, and collectibles will also be added. Additionally, players will be able to choose their preferred reward from a selection upon quest completion, allowing for more personalized playstyles. For dungeons, they currently rely heavily on combat and lack any real depth and polish, despite positive feedback for solo play on dungeons in the beta. So to improve on this, expedition dungeons will feature randomized elements like varied bosses and events for dynamic runs, with extra rewards for multiple completions. Trials will get enhanced atmosphere, varied layouts, and a new strategic card system that will give you buffs or debuffs. Labyrinths will have more revival points and smoother mechanics by replacing levers with platform buttons. Time portals will offer varied combat setups and gimmicks, while Chrono Gates will introduce new achievements and exclusive rewards to boost replayability. For open world content, large-scale battles, especially field boss fights, suffered from poor on-screen clarity due to the overwhelming skill effects. So to improve visibility, a toggle will be added, allowing players to show or hide other players' skill effects, as well as some class skills with some disruptive visuals. They'll have those skills adjusted to reduce visual clutter during combat. Field bosses also felt unrewarding given the effort involved, and unclear notifications made it hard to know when rewards were earned. To fix this, field bosses will now drop unique boss-specific gear to increase their value, and players will receive clear visual and audio feedback upon earning rewards, enhancing hopefully the sense of progression. Speaking of progression, players were confused by unclear explanations of stats and their effects, so to address this, detailed stat descriptions and updated UI elements will be added to clearly show the benefits of each stat. Leveling felt slow after level 10 according to a lot of feedback, and many players were unsure of how to proceed following the second Chrono Gate. So to improve on this, XP costs after level 10 will be reduced for smoother progression. New guides will assist players in staying on track after the second Chrono Gate as well. The game's farming loop also became stale due to limited variation and low dungeon replayability. So to address this issue, incentives for open world exploration have been increased, including unique gear with passive effects and rewards like elixir chests and enhancement points. Players can also trade collectible materials for specific items, providing alternative progression paths. The limited gear variety in the closed beta made experimentation kind of difficult, with some gear feeling underpowered or purposeless, and to improve on this, stat boosts will be made more impactful, unique gear rebalanced for diverse builds, and monsters will drop exclusive gear, encouraging build variety. Additionally, a toggle to hide headgear or cloaks will allow players to customize appearance without sacrificing stats. Obtaining enhancement materials through gold with a guaranteed 100% success rate made the process of progressing your gear kind of boring. To improve the excitement of progression, enhancement materials will now be given as a one-time reward and can be found through world exploration, reducing repetitive grinding. The crafting system in the game lacked clear guidance as well, with too many explanations of crafting levels and material uses. The item list was also poorly organized, so to fix all of this, a dedicated interface section will explain crafting level benefits, a bookmark feature will also help you track required materials, and the recipe list will prioritize items relevant to the player's class and level for better usability. Crafting outcomes also often felt disappointing relative to the materials used, and gathering became repetitive and tedious. So to improve this, the gear crafting UI will be updated to better showcase potential results, while gathering and crafting visuals and animations will be enhanced to reflect character progression. Gathering will also offer chances to obtain higher grade materials and at larger quantities, making the experience hopefully more rewarding. Players also found manually swapping gear and manually changing your skills or builds was too time consuming and inconvenient, so to address this, gear and skill preset systems will be introduced, enabling quick and easy switching between different setups. For performance, which was a big issue in the beta, they say combat performance specifically suffered from unstable frame rates caused by skill effects and large player gatherings, leading to delayed inputs, sluggish movement, and inconsistent hit detection. Network delays also further impacted responsiveness, so to fix all of these issues, background loading processes will be optimized, skill effect counts will be reduced, server-side processing will also be improved, and certain combat zones will be moved to dedicated servers for better stability. Sudden spikes in visual effects cause major performance drops during combat, and to address this issue, effect calculations will shift from the CPU to GPU-based parallel processing to reduce CPU load. Shader logic will be simplified and optimized, oversampling will be minimized, and distance-based level of detail implemented to scale effect quality by camera distance. Texture resolutions will also be optimized to reduce memory usage and improve rendering efficiency, ensuring smoother gameplay without sacrificing visual quality. Stuttering and frame drops also occurred during server-client synchronization and area loading, causing noticeable performance issues. To address this issue, server transitions and client-side spawn logic will be optimized to streamline resource loading, map data transfer will be made more efficient, and world resources will be refined to reduce interruptions when moving from area to area. For overall design and animations, the current UI, according to a lot of the feedback, felt generic and lacked a unique identity, resembling other games too closely. So to address this issue, the UI will be revamped with distinct design patterns, color schemes, and animations that reflect Chrono Odyssey's unique visual style. The HUD was also too large, obstructing important screen areas during combat, so HUD scaling and the layout will be adjusted to reduce obstruction. Notification priorities like level up pop-ups will also be rebalanced, and HUD element sizes and designs will be refined to minimize visual interference. Key indicators like health, buffs, and cooldowns were also too small according to a lot of feedback and also hard to track, so visibility of these elements will be improved with the stamina gauge redesigned in color, size, and placement for clarity, and also kept visible even when the HUD is hidden. Buff icons will be resized and repositioned, and buff and debuff effects enhanced to be more noticeable during gameplay. The menu was also hard to navigate due to a lack of guidance and important features being buried too deep in submenus, so to improve usability, the menu layout will be reorganized for easier access, categories will be reworked to better reflect their purpose, and a tutorial will be added to help players understand each section and navigate the menu more effectively. Quest markers were hard to see and often inaccurate, making quest tracking and progression very difficult. To fix this, the color scheme of quest markers will be improved for better visibility, and all active quests will have markers displayed on the world map to aid navigation. Many players also struggled to understand the game's systems and content, with early game pop-up guides unable to be revisited, so to improve on this, tutorials will be enhanced for clearer early guidance, and a new guide tab will allow players to review core system tutorials anytime they want. And a progression guide will also appear after the first chrono gate to help players more smoothly continue their progression in the game. Players also lacked detailed detailed guidance on core systems like weapon systems, making it hard to understand those mechanics. To improve on this, they will also add a new early game combat tutorial covering weapon swapping mechanics and controls, along with system guides explaining core mechanics in combat. For character animations, movement often felt disconnected during sharp turns and rapid direction changes, with sprinting and sprint jumping causing breaks in flow. Characters also slid unnaturally due to the excessive inertia at high speeds, so to improve on all of this, animations will now be resynchronized to better match movement speed and direction, with refined transition rules and tighter blend timings for smoother skill and hit reaction changes. Animation locks limiting control, especially when returning to idle, will be reduced for quicker responsiveness, movement speed will be adjusted, inertia will be reduced or removed to prevent overextension, and desync issues during sudden turns will be addressed by removing distance matching from regular movement and improving pivot animations. For game economy changes, players lacked clear guidance on how to earn and spend their gold with the beta's underdeveloped currency system. To improve this, gold rewards from epic quests will be increased for early game support, and guidance will be provided for activities like bounty hunting, local quests, and time portals where larger gold amounts can be earned. Loot's gold value was also too low, making rewards feel insignificant and unrewarding, so to fix this issue, item values and prices will be reviewed and adjusted so loot becomes a reliable gold income source. The party system in-game was unintuitive, making its features hard to use, so to improve on this, social features will expand to include chat lists and player interaction UI. Party, guild, and friend invites will be accessible from both the player menu and chat window. Friend, party, and guild interfaces will be streamlined to reduce steps with reworked search windows and added sorting options for better clarity. The party UI itself and guidance were also insufficient, hindering coordination, so a new notification system will be introduced, allowing party members to share statuses easily via danger alerts, location pings, and wait pings. Notifications will also appear as chat messages, sound cues, and compass markers. Danger alerts will notify all party members to help improve group responsiveness. Closing a chat tab always defaulted to global chat, disrupting player flow, and to improve on this, closing a chat tab will now return players to their previously used chat instead of global. Drafted messages will be preserved when switching tabs, and chat tabs like global and party will be color-coded for easier distinction. For sound design improvements, some weapons, especially ranged ones, lacked matching audio quality effects. They would have weak and quiet hit sounds at long distances. The background music was repetitive and lacked variety across gameplay situations, so to improve all of this, weapon sounds will now be enhanced to better match visuals and convey weight, including a new firing sound for crossbows. Ranged weapon sound attenuation will be refined to ensure hits are audible at longer ranges. BGM transitions will be smoothed with adjusted delay times, and more varied music tracks will be introduced, assigning unique soundtracks to smaller areas for greater diversity as you explore. Lastly, the narrative of Chrono Odyssey, its main story, is currently undergoing a complete overhaul. Their goal is to deliver a story that allows players to become more deeply immersed in the world and its lore. That's all I have for you today. Let me know what you think about the changes to Chrono Odyssey. Do you agree with their new approach? What do you think they missed addressing in this developer note? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.